you all of a sudden go, I can't do this. I can't say this anymore. So was there a time, yes, it happened slowly, but was there a moment that changed you and said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore?
I mean, I would say,
well, people called me a birthing person instead of a woman, and then people made fun of me about a homeless guy. So once that happened, I realized that I needed a 180 on my lifetime of political beliefs and come and support your guys' side.
What's happening, everybody? Your old pal Destiny recently reacted to Ana Kasparian's interview with Glenn Beck. In the interview, Ana Kasparian details the variety of reasons she's become disenfranchised with the left, and for some unknown reason, that made Destiny melt down like a psychopath. With that, let's watch Destiny throw a tantrum because Ana Kasparian dared to say anything about his beloved Democrat Party. Let's go.
You know, the heavens didn't open up.
Right.
You all of a sudden go, I can't do this. I can't say this anymore. So was there a time, yes, it happened slowly, but was there a moment that changed you and said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore?
I mean, I would say,
well, people called me a birthing person instead of a woman, and then people made fun of me about a homeless guy. So once that happened, I realized that I needed a 180 on my lifetime of political beliefs and come and support your guys' side.
the phrase "I can't do it anymore" for me applies to a handful of policy issues that the Democratic Party has been championing that I don't agree with.
So there's no personal, there was no personal event or anything that happened in your life to where you went,
I mean, I was sexually assaulted by a homeless guy. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I was sexually
That was one. Do the birthing person one next. Do the birthing person one next.
assaulted by a homeless guy in Los Angeles in my neighborhood as I was walking my dog.
Oh my gosh.
And it was awful. I mean, I've talked about it multiple times. And look, I don't want to put myself in this position of being like this victim who's looking for empathy, but it is the moment where something very scary happened to me. And
Why did that?
It wasn't just that had happened to me. It was the reaction I received from a faction of the left, okay? The social justice left, if you want to call it that, who think that, you know, in some cases, the criminals are actually the victims and the victims are the criminals. Like, it's insane. And I don't know how big this faction is, but they're loud enough to push me away completely. And so
I don't know how big this faction is. Aren't you a media professional? Don't you think that should be like important? Like maybe like part of your fucking job to know how big those people are?
it wasn't that had happened to me. It was the reaction of the left and how they were far more concerned with me talking about it because they felt that was stigmatizing the homeless community. I have never gone out of my way to say negative things about homeless people. I mean, people who are living out on the streets are, in a lot of cases, victims who need help, right? But I was victimized by a guy that was strung out on something, could have been meth. You know, he was jerking around as he was walking toward me with his buddy. And
gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But it took a while for me to get over that.
What are two phrases you will never hear in your lifetime? Number one, my friend Destiny, ... Number two, my friend Stephen Bonnell III, ... Destiny's reaction to Anna's gripes about the left is a perfect representation of how they push people away from their party. Agree with everything we say, or we will attack and vilify you. What's that? You have some legitimate grievances? Don't care. You're racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, and whichever ones we've left out. What a joke of an ideology. So when Destiny said, okay, go ahead, say birthing person. Okay, yeah, say you were sexually assaulted. What he's referring to are two times that TYT fans turned on Ana for things she said on her show. The first incident was when Ana tweeted that she doesn't want to be called a birthing person because, well, she's a woman. Why would she want to be called that? And the second is when Ana was sexually assaulted by two homeless men when walking her dog. Now, in the first case, her own supposed fans attacked her by saying she was insensitive to the trans community somehow. And in the second case, her same fans attacked her as if she was insulting the entire homeless community for telling a horrific incident that she had to endure. It's amazing how Destiny's acting like these aren't good reasons to question who the hell your fans are when they treat you this way. For one, saying something truthful and not harmful to a single person on earth. Or two, for opening up to your audience about a horrific trauma that you went through. If I wasn't sure before, I'm convinced now this man's not human. When someone tells you a story of something awful that happened to them, Isn't most normal people's instinct to respond with empathy? I certainly do. Destiny mocking her for this is unforgivable, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But it took a while for me to get over that because I still have to walk my dog. And so multiple times a day, I literally have to think about that incident. And so I thought maybe it would help to talk about it. And then when I did talk about it, I totally regretted it because I was shocked at the way people reacted to me. But what that moment taught me was some of the characteristics of the quote unquote left that I thought were good, right? Like the kindness, the open-mindedness, the willingness to go out of your way to look out for people who need help, like that kind of stuff. There's a portion of the left that has shed those characteristics. They've taken on a more nihilistic approach to things, and they don't even believe in reforms. They just believe that everything about every political system, every program we have, every institution we have is just worthless and we need to burn it all down.
Isn't that kind of like what you two believe right now? I'm so curious if we ever come back to this point. What are the institutions or current parts of our system that you want to save? And the answer needs to be something more substantive than Bill of Rights.
Okay. So that nihilistic nature, I think, leads to a lot of really bad ideas and terrible behavior online. And that's pushing people out, pushing people away. And you look at places like Los Angeles, for instance, right? Or Cook County, which is where Chicago is. I paid very close attention to Cook County and what the election results were going to be in Cook County, because you have an influx of migrants going to Chicago, right? You have a lot of anger among the Black community in Chicago because they've been nickel and dimed by their local government.
It's crazy.
And at the same time, their mayor, Brandon Johnson, is doling out the cash for migrants and justifying it. And so they're angry. And so I'm watching is the Black have an influx of migrants going to Chicago, right? You have a lot of anger among the Black community in Chicago because they've been nickel and dimed by their local government.
It's crazy.
And at the same time, their mayor, Brandon Johnson, is doling out the cash for migrants and justifying it. And so they're angry. And so I'm watching all of this happen, and I'm just like, Democrats.
I don't even know what. I don't even know how to look. How much money is the mayor allocating to, when she says migrants, does she mean illegal migrants? And we're just like mixing all the terms up because it's just scary foreigner people, and it's all like
all migrants or illegal migrants, or are we just putting them all together because they're scary foreign people? This is part of Destiny's new shtick, to pretend that the border isn't a problem. Anyone who thinks it is just a brainwashed xenophobe. And dummy, no one wants to burn down our system. We think all of our government institutions need to be heavily audited, that government workers need to actually show up at their jobs, and we want to cut out all the waste and inefficiencies. How is that controversial? Wouldn't anyone, regardless of political affiliation, be for that, considering the debt our country's in and the waste that's happening right in front of our eyes while no one does anything about it? Just a thought.
It's okay.
Democrats need to wake up because more and more voters feel like they're being abandoned by the Democratic Party, economically speaking. And everyone got mad at me. Everyone's like, oh, you're anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant.
Immigrants built this country.
Yes, my parents are immigrants.
Yes.
Okay, I am not anti-immigrant. But I do have a problem with the Biden administration neglecting the border, pretending like there wasn't a migrant crisis at all, allowing these municipalities to be inundated with migrants without any federal resources to deal with the problem. And what? We're going to pretend like that's not going to cause electoral harm? Of course it is. So when you look at places like LA, there was an 11-point swing toward the Republican Party. Kamala Harris still won, LA County, but 11% toward Republicans, that's crazy in Los Angeles.
My problem with the policy there, again, I could be friends and debate and whatever with anyone.
The Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds Program, this is part of, I believe, authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act, delivers $350 billion to state, territorial, local, and tribal governments across the country to support the response to and recovery from COVID-19. There was so much money under the Biden admin that was given out to local governments, state and city governments. But okay.
If it's honest, Thomas Jefferson said, question with boldness even the very existence of God, for if there be a God, he must surely reign.
God, stop quoting these old fucking people that you know nothing about and don't give a fuck about what they think about any of this shit. God, it's so fucking cringe. You would appeal to people that would kill themselves if they saw somebody like Donald Trump winning the fucking White House. It is so fucking cringe.
I don't know if you guys caught that update from Destiny, but quoting the founding fathers now is cringe. Hey, if you want to like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that too. Let's get back to the video.
This is the thing. The Democrats like to play good cop, bad cop. So you'll have the majority of the Democratic Party, in the Senate in particular, pretend like they're all on board with Biden's agenda and the idea of having Medicare negotiate drug prices.
We have the same problem in the Republican Party, by the way.
And then you'll always have the bad cops who are willing to raise their hands and basically torpedo that provision. And that's essentially what happened with Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. But don't make the mistake of thinking they were the only ones, because sitting on the bleachers waiting were other corporate Democrats who would step in if they needed to prevent the passage of that provision. And so I love
We're not going to talk about every single Republican in lockstep who voted against it. I love how you have Glenn Beck over here, who is an unashamed deep throater of every single conservative. He's like, oh yeah, keep going. Yeah. Oh my God. Like does she not, like, she's literally the, as like Anna comes on their program, like, yes. Oh yeah. Manchin, Cinema. Yes. Keep giving me the horrible the corporate Dems. I'm sorry. Did you say donor class? Yes. Give me that. More of that. Yes. More of the donor class. Oh, yeah, the billionaires, the corporate Dems. Yes, the Dems are now doing hawkish foreign policy. Absolutely, yes. Oh my, it's the Dems that are, you said pro-war. Now Republicans are anti-war. Give me Ukraine, and the Democrats are supporting Ukraine now, right? And we're not even doing anything about homeless people, and we're getting illegal immigrants that the Dems are taking, and they're destroying healthcare, and they don't want to do anything for the, like, it's literally, it's like this, like, just come here and like shit on the Dems for it, like, like.
Watching Democrats celebrate themselves because now Medicare can negotiate.
Like, we're not going to talk at all. Who do you think is blocking these reforms? You know that Trump is the one that tried to actually kill all parts of the ACA when he came in. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen?
The drug prices of 10.
Here's a question. We're 35 minutes left. I don't think a single negative thing has been said by Trump or the Republican Party right now. Do you think a single negative thing will be said about Trump or the Republicans by the end of this?
10 drugs. And sure, that's better than nothing. But I mean, I'm not going to give you a reward for whittling down a policy that made sense.
Why do I have to explain simple things to Destiny? It's an interview about her problem with the left wing. So no, her answer to every question isn't going to be exactly like yours. What about Trump? What about the Republicans? Does that make sense, Destiny? Okay, now, a couple videos ago, I promised to compliment Destiny on some good takes because I had been called out for being a partisan hack. You guys, if you've watched it all, you know I'm very unbiased. Now, unfortunately, today's video, we've run out of time, but next video, I will get into all the good points Destiny made. So make sure you tune in to that video, because I am just itching to read this list. So good. I genuinely don't think Destiny knows at this point why he's mad all the time. I think it will take a team of therapists many, many years to figure that out. Or, hopefully, maybe one of you knows. So my question for the comments today is simple. Why is Destiny so mad? Anyway, that's it for this episode. If you like watching Destiny go on unhinged rants like this one, click on one of the two videos that just popped up on your screen. Otherwise, as always, I really, really appreciate every single one of you watches any of my videos. The end.